Hello Seekers, welcome to my channel. I'm Barbara de Engel and I help you decode your life. I want you to make the right decision, so I use tarot and astrology to help you see things differently. Today I'm going to be picking tarot and Lenormand cards for all the signs of the zodiac, and we're going to be looking at what the week ahead holds for you. All right. First star sign that we're going to tackle today is Aries. So I'm just shuffling the cards quickly. There we go. These cards are going all over the place. Aries, your first card, your tarot advice card, is the Lovers. And whenever the Lovers appears in a spread, it suggests that there's a lot of good things happening around you. Some of them are really that good that you might want to think about. Are you going to commit to this course of action? What are you going to do to build this relationship, this issue, this matter, this project? And it's always a lovely card to have, because it suggests that there's sometimes a higher purpose than what always just meets the eye. So sometimes your passion for something or someone could have a higher perspective. So this is what the Lovers card suggests for you in the week that lies ahead. Now, remember I spoke last week on Wednesday about how challenging the astrological aspects are. Well, Mars is the planet of energy in your sign. So the choice to channel your energy or get aggravated and be a pain in the backside is certainly going to be yours, Aries. Your warning card coming from the bottom of the pack is the Queen of Wands. Now, the Queen of Wands is a card that speaks about energy, but energy that's really well controlled and maintained and used in a way that it will benefit everybody. So if you're able to choose to direct your energy properly, Aries, you should find that you have a really good week. Now I'm going to draw the Lenormand cards, so we shall see what other advice the Lenormand cards have to offer you. And the card that we draw for Lenormand cards is the Anchor. Now this is a really nice card to have, because it says if you make the right decision and channel your energy properly, you're going to see very enduring results. So even though it might be challenging, keep that end result in mind. You want things to work out well. You want to use your energy correctly. And judging by these cards, you should have a really good week. I hope that keeps you on track, Aries. And if it does work for you, please let me know. I love finding your comments. It always gives me insight and a great deal of encouragement to keep on making these videos. Right, next star sign that we're doing, we're going to be looking at Taurus. So Taurus, I'm going to pick tarot cards for you. Your first tarot advice card is Judgment. Now this is a really good card to have, because it suggests there's a time of rebirth, a growth, a whole new approach to how you do things. You're in a frame of mind where everything around you has been saying it's time to be reborn, a new you, a new initiative or something. So make that choice now. Do something differently. There's no more time to hide behind old excuses, Taurus. If you want to move ahead, Judgment card says get moving. This is the time to do it. Your advice card is Temperance, and Temperance is reversed. So just as a warning to be careful when you charge ahead into something, that you don't lose track and that you don't prevaricate or fall back into making old excuses, because you know you're a very fixed sign. So when you get going, you get going. It just sometimes takes a while to get your energy sorted out. But these two cards together suggest that if you do things properly, you're certainly going to have a really good, very interesting week. Your Lenormand card that I'm choosing for you is the Letter. And the Letter, Taurus, this card is just for you. You know how you like to have a guarantee. If I do this, is that going to happen? am I always going to get this result? Or you're always going to say the same thing when I do the same thing to you. So this is the card that says they're not always going to be guarantees, but once you get moving and you keep your energies balanced, you may find that you get some very positive feedback from the environment and the people around you. So these cards are your permission to actually get moving with something new. Gemini, you're the next sign for having cards picked to enlighten you and guide you for the week. I'm going to cut the pack into two. Then we'll take the top card. Your tarot advice card is the Six of Pentacles reversed. Now, there may be something that you need to do. Perhaps you've been thinking that you can manage on your own, or perhaps you want to help other people. But if you want to help somebody, there's going to be a price, and sometimes you don't always think about what something's going to cost you when you jump into it with all your power. So the Six of Pentacles suggests that you take a few moments to think about what you want to do. If there's something you can't do and you may need to ask for help, even borrow money or ask a favor, this card suggests that it might not always be easy to admit that you need help. So sometimes it's a good idea to just check what you can and can't do and then find somebody to help you with the things you can't manage. Your warning card from the bottom of the pack is the Seven of Cups. And when the Seven of Cups and the Six of Pentacles sit in close positions like this, the warning is, while you may not know exactly what you need, you might find that people offer you assistance, but it might not be exactly what you really need, and it could deflect you. So try and keep your thoughts together and stay focused on what you want to achieve, because you know how easy it is for you to get sidetracked sometimes. But the Seven of Cups says there will be other options. So even if you don't know who to ask, keep asking, keep knocking on the doors, because somewhere you're going to find the right door opens for you. Your Lenormand card that I'm going to pick for you is the Home card. And whatever you're going to be doing, the House card suggests stick to your environment, stick to the field that you know. Don't go running around too far afield, because the answers that you're looking for lie quite close at hand. So keep your eyes open. There are people who can assist you with whatever you need, but be local. You might find that keeping things close by to where you work or where you are at home will help you to find really good and lasting solutions as well, things that you'll be happy with. So even if there's a price to pay, sometimes it's worthwhile striking a creative bargain, and you don't need to be advised about how to do that, do you? Well, let me know, please, Gemini, if this has been helpful for you this week. I like your comments, and if you like this or you think somebody you know might benefit from this reading, well, please do share it. You're more than welcome to. All right, Cancer, I'm shuffling the cards for you, and I'm going to cut the pack and pick your cards for the week that lies ahead. Your tarot advice card is the Sun card reversed. Now, the Sun card is a sense of moving ahead, wanting to be free of something, but when it comes up reversed, it suggests that it's not quite the time for you to be released from your particular little prison. And I know lockdown is not easy for many people, or for all of us, but the Sun card says if you want to progress, you need to take a good long look at your plans, because there's a possibility that you might have been focusing so much on what you're going to do when everything's over that you miss out something that's really very, very important. So stop, look and listen before you rush out and expect things to change for the better. Your advice, your warning card is the Death card reversed. Now, it doesn't have to be a scary card. In fact, when Death is reversed, it suggests that you know that you've come to a certain point where you have to try something different. And the Sun says, yes, even though you want to try something different, you just have to make sure that you think things through carefully before you get on too much of a roll. These are normally you're quite patient, but these two cards suggest that sometimes you might feel so full of energy and drive that you take the wrong decision. So just slow down, check everything. You don't want a sense of over-optimism to jeopardize your progress, do you? Right, your Lenormand advice card is the cross. Well, if you do charge along and you jump into something and you are far too impatient, the cross says whatever troubles you get as a result of that are likely to be quite troublesome. So if you want to avoid being troubled by bad decisions, stop, slow down, look at things carefully, and you should be able to sidestep most of the problems. Leo, I'm going to shuffle the cards and pick some cards for you for the week that lies ahead. And now I'm cutting the pack into two. The top card is your Tarot advice card, which is the Six of Cups. Now, the Six of Cups is a very interesting card to have because it speaks about home and people and old friends and everything you've been loyal to. But when it comes up reversed, it suggests that sometimes you are being loyal to things or people or causes that don't have a place in your life right now, or that are perhaps holding you back in some way. So it might be as simple as, contacting the old friend who never contacts you first, or staying loyal to an employer who just kind of like overlooks everything that you've been doing. So whenever the Six of Cups comes along, you'll be looking at issues that involve your loyalties in some way. Your warning card from the bottom of the pack is the Emperor. Now, the Emperor is a fiery card, and it rules Aries, and we have Mars in Aries at the moment. So take a deep breath, Leo. When your fiery energy is triggered by an aggressive and assertive planet like Mars in Aries, it can mean that you want to charge ahead and do things your way, but that you hurt the people who've actually been supporting you. So these cards suggest that you be very, very, very careful before you unlock the power of your words or your actions. Think very carefully about where your real loyalties actually do lie. Right, your Lenormand card that I'm going to choose for you is the Bouquet. If you make the right choice, you'll find that the people around you react so favorably to that all your plans start to move ahead. But if you don't, you'll find that people are maybe not as friendly or well disposed to you as you assume they are. And let's face it, underneath all of that bravado, Leo, you really need to know that people care about you. So make sure that you deserve their care by acting appropriately at this time. I hope that keeps you safe. And if it does, please let me know. And if you ignore this advice and things go wrong, well, let me know too. I won't say I told you so, but maybe we can figure out how to get you out of whatever tight corner has built itself up around you. Right, Virgo, this is your shuffle that I'm doing here now, and I'm going to cut the pack into two. And then the top card is going to be your advice card, and this is the Ace of Pentacles reversed. Now, this is an earth sign, an earth card. So as an earth sign, you like to know that when you get stuck into something, it's going to be there for a long time. You don't want to waste your time. But when the Ace of Pentacles comes up in a reversed position, it suggests that there might be something that you just can't get off the ground right now, where the circumstances are not correct, or whether you've overlooked something, or whether you're just feeling like no matter how hard you try, you're just not making any progress. And if you do find yourself in that frame of mind, Virgo, please remember that whatever's going on inside your own mind is going to show itself in your world around you. So if you get yourself into a state it's going to be very, very difficult to stop looking at what's wrong. And then it brings out the dark side of your nature, the critical, unhappy, complaining side. And you don't want that. You're generally such a nice person to be around. So if you do find that happening, let's see what your warning card suggests. That if you are negative, all you're going to be seeing is the things that are wrong. And it's going to be very difficult to get yourself out of that space. And particularly when you get into a mood like that, the people around you can't help you either. So don't get yourself into a space where you start thinking nobody cares. In fact, they do care, but you might be putting up a wall of defenses that nobody can get through. So don't be too proud to say, help, just ask for a hug. You might find somebody who's really eager to give you one. Your Lenormand advice card that I'm picking for you is the Coffin. Now, in the Lenormand cards, Coffin often speaks about how our cycles of activity and inactivity are closely linked to how many things grow and how many things have to die off. Now, the Coffin often suggests hitting a blank wall where whatever you want to do is going to make it very difficult to progress. And because these cards speak about the dangers of becoming negative, the Coffin says if you do become negative, it's going to be really, really, really difficult to get yourself out of it. So I hope these cards are a reminder of how powerful your mind is, and that you can find a way to focus only on the positive and ignore the negative feelings. Easier said than done. But I do hope it works for you, Virgo, for this week. Libra, I'm shuffling the cards for you. And I'm going to cut the pack into two. Libra, your advice card from the tarot is the Moon. Now, the Moon speaks about your intuition, your creativity. When you close your eyes, what comes up in your imagination. This is a very creative card to have, and it can be creative if you're a creator. It can also be creative if you're a warrior and you look at all the wrong things. So the Moon often suggests that there's something in your life that you are feeling strongly about. You can't quite put your finger on it. Just be very careful that you don't allow your fears to run away with you. Anything, fear, imagination, intuition, all of these need you to keep your feet on the ground. Otherwise, it just gets very emotional. And you know what too many emotions do to your logical mind. It can make it very difficult to stay positive, right? Your warning card from the tarot is the Three of Cups reversed. Now, if you get depressed and you decide you're going to take a sleeping tablet, a tranquilizer, have a drink with a friend, these cards suggest that any kind of emotional excess can aggravate the negative feelings and take you onto a path where you end up deceiving yourself or being deceived by somebody just because you're not looking at things clearly through the logical, objective side of your mind, but paying attention to this gut feeling that might not be correct. So do try and keep your feet on the ground and don't give in to anything negative, please. And it's easy to get negative, particularly because with Mars in Aries, it's opposite your sign. So you may find that other people just drive you nuts, or their actions are just so strange you can't figure out what it is. Remember, these cards are saying there's not much you can figure out. You've got to rely on your eyes. You've got to look at things as objectively as possible. That's what I'm telling you for the rest of the week. Your Lenormand advice card is the Tower. And this is a really nice card to have because it says people will notice how you act and how you express yourself. And based on that, you will either gain support or push that away. So it's really all about how you think, how you speak, and how you come across to other people. I don't need to tell you how important public relations are, but make sure that you work on projecting yourself in the most positive manner possible. Yes, and I'm really curious. If things go well for you, please let me know. If these cards just didn't resonate with you, let me know too, and maybe we can look into some of your questions in greater depth in another reading. All right, Scorpio, I'm shuffling the cards for you. And now that I've cut the pack into two, let's see what your tarot advice card is. It's the Two of Pentacles. Well, this is the card that says it's just too much to do and not enough people to do it. You may have so much on your plate that you can't rest or relax, and that you end up really getting to the point where you have to decide what you're going to focus on and what you can't do. Because if you're going to try and do it all, your life will be up and down like that, and it'll be very, very exhausting. So the Two of Pentacles suggests it may be time for you to reprioritize and look at how you can rebalance whatever you need to do. Oh, and the Empress card here is the card of mothering and female energy. So if you are stuck in lockdown and feel like you're doing everything around the house and nobody's doing their share, it may just be because you've been doing everything for people, but not delegating and allowing them to do something as well. So Scorpio, you can't be in charge all the time, and you have to take charge and direct your environment so that everything runs along on smooth wheels. Somebody's got to be in charge of the show, and the Empress says that's you. So get sorting and create a bit of space so that you can just sit back, take a little bit of me time, because you'll soon feel, whoopsie daisy, stronger about everything. Your Lenormand advice card is the Crossroads, and as you can see, there are a couple of choices depending on what you want to prioritize, but the decisions do need to be made. So you can't put this off. You can't walk around with a long face and say nobody notices what you're doing. It's time for you to step up, Scorpio, and take charge in the nicest, most balanced way that is possible. So now here we're going to shuffle the cards for Sagittarius. Sagittarius, your advice card from the tarot is the Nine of Pentacles reversed. Now this is a really nice card because it suggests that if you've been trying to do a lot of things yourself, you may find that there's something that you can't do on your own. Whatever those circumstances may be, the Nine of Pentacles suggests that it's time now to add other people to your little mix and ask for their input and their assistance in whatever you want to do. So it's actually a really nice card because you may find that other people bring something different to the mix, something that you hadn't been able to add on your own. However, your warning card from the bottom of the pack is the Eight of Swords. And these two cards suggest that a bad attitude or pride on your part could mean that you don't get the help that you need in order to move ahead and that you stay stuck. So remember, if you aren't getting anywhere, it might just be your own attitude that's standing in the way. And yes, I know, Sagittarius, you do know everything. Nobody can tell you anything, but I'm telling you a negative attitude is going to hold you back. So don't let that false pride hold you back. In fact, the people around you might really enjoy knowing that for a change, you will value the information they want to share or the opportunity to actually do something to help you. So watch that attitude, Sagittarius. Your Lenormand advice card is the Book. And this card suggests, no, you're not going to know how it's going to turn out. You might find that the people that offer you advice don't have the kind of advice you really need or the help, but you'll never know unless you ask. And the Book says, just like no story is ever read if you keep the book closed, you'll have to try this and see if it works for you or not. Capricorn, I'm shuffling cards for you now, and then I'm going to pick two cards for you for the week that lies ahead. Your tarot advice card, Capricorn, is the Tower. Now, this card is the card that symbolizes the planet Mars, which is in Aries. And for Capricorn, Aries is right where it challenges you the most, because you like to be in charge. And when the Tower card comes along, it suggests that there are changes going to be happening that you're not in charge of. And this can be pretty unsettling. It can clear the playing ground, definitely, but there are changes likely, and some of these changes you cannot fight. So the advice of the tarot is to look very carefully at life and decide where you are prepared to give way, because you're going to get a message that something's just not going to work, and you have to learn to be flexible and work with this. Otherwise, it's going to be really challenging for you. Your advice card from the bottom of the pack is the Knight of Wands. And when the Knight of Wands comes up reversed, it suggests that when changes happen and you haven't been thinking about it, you'll just find yourself stuck without a direction to go in, or you'll just go heading off in one direction. That's not going to take you anywhere. So between these two cards, they're suggesting that wait and see. When something isn't working, let it settle down and then have a look what you can do. You know, you're generally a patient person, but sometimes you can charge into something without thinking. And it might not be an adventure, it might be a saga that takes a long time to resolve. Your Lenormand card, and will it take a long time to resolve? Yes, indeed. So when things aren't working, you may find that you have to actually take action, and quite bold action. But remember, there's a difference between bold and downright foolish. So that's where you have to figure things out for yourself. The cards are saying, with care, you can take that bold action, but if you're just going to let the changes shock you and react with a knee-jerk reaction, that's going to take a while. It's going to be really challenging. So I hope that these cards help you avoid some trouble this week, Capricorn. Please do leave a comment below if you find that this has been helpful or not. Aquarius, I'm shuffling the cards for you now. And I'm going to cut the pack and pick two cards. The top card for you, Aquarius, is the card of advice from the tarot. And the Seven of Wands is the card that says, you know, this week's going to be quite challenging. Yeah, there are things that have to be done. You have to stand up for yourself. You have to fight for something. You can't give in. You can't be lazy. You can't let any old excuses hold you back. Just stand up there. Do it. Do it. Because whatever you want to do is worthwhile fighting for. You know, you just have to choose your battles properly. The warning card is the Page of Pentacles, which suggests that you need to be very careful about who you talk to and who you fight with, because if you are going to be challenging somebody, the chances are they're a lot more practical. They've got a lot more insight into a situation than what you have. And it's on the practicalities that you could get yourself stuck. When it comes to principles, Aquarians are great for standing up for principles, but sometimes it makes you impractical. And if you have to deal with somebody who's far more practical than you, you might find yourself pushed into a corner and that you actually have to play according to somebody else's rules, and it won't be fun. It won't be fun. So let's see what the Lenormand cards suggest as a potential outcome for you. All right, that is the Stars card, and that suggests that, you know what, if you're willing to back off, back down, put your principles on hold and tackle things correctly, you're going to find people around you will start looking at you with new eyes and thinking, oh, maybe there's a bit more to this person than what we first thought. So challenging though it may be, Aquarius, this week could actually work out quite well for you if you're willing to play whatever new rules of the game are written for you. And now for Pisces. Pisces, let me shuffle the cards for you. And we're going to cut the pack Pisces, your advice card from the tarot is the Five of Pentacles. And this is a challenging card. As you can see, it's cold. People are outside walking in the cold. So you may find yourself struggling along. Financial issues might be very pressing for you right now. And it might feel like you're just never going to get through, you know. Don't be shy. If you're battling with something, finances or opportunities or whatever, don't just believe that you're the only one that's battling. There are other people out there, and there are people who are willing to help. But you have to be willing to go and knock on a door or two. Let me see what your advice card says, your warning card. The warning card, the Page of Swords reversed, suggests that when things go wrong, you know, you have a tendency, Pisces, to sometimes talk to too many people and say the wrong things before you actually are very clear about what you want. So be very, very cautious, please. This is an opportunity for you to change the focus. But if you're going to be negative, you're gonna talk yourself into a really, really bad space. So while there are things that you can't do, there are also things that you can do. And my advice to you is, looking at these cards, focus on what you can do, who you can talk to. And no, there's no outcome just yet, but the need for thinking clearly and not just speaking to anybody, because you could end up speaking to someone who will take advantage of your vulnerable position. And you don't need that. I wouldn't like you to go through something like that. So be very, very careful who you speak to, please. But don't believe that you have to do it all on your own. It doesn't always have to be like that. You just need to be a little bit more sensible about the people that you speak to. Your advice from the Lenormand cards is the key. And the key says, where you are now is a very important part of your personal progress, your spiritual progress. Attitude and the way that you approach things is going to mean the difference between succeeding at finding the help you need or putting yourself in a position where people are going to take advantage of you. It's quite a challenging thing. And if this is happening to you in your life, Pisces, it might be time for you to think about a reading with me where we could maybe look into what exactly is happening and give you the skills and the opportunities to spot what's going to be the best possible path for yourself. So I hope this works for you and that it keeps you safe. And if you'd like to share these readings, this entire video, with someone that you think might benefit from it, well, please do. And once again, I value everybody's comments. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know. Let me know how things are going for you this week, and perhaps you have some ideas or something else that I could make a recording on. I'd love to do that for you. Take care, be strong, stay healthy, stay safe.